What comes to your mind when you hear IELTS? I did IELTS twice. Hey beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Deb Crystal here again. Thanks for being here with me. If you're a returning subscriber, you're welcome, and if you are new here, kindly subscribe to my channel. Thanks for engaging my posts. Thanks for the love in my previous posts. God bless you. From the title of this video, you already know what I'm going to be talking about, which is IELTS. A lot of you might be familiar with IELTS and some of you might not be. So let's get straight into the topic of the day. So guys, I'll be sharing with you tips that helped me and the mistake that I made that you should avoid in writing this exam. There is no big deal in writing it. And you know what? I did the exam 2 times. Not because I didn't pass the first time. I believe if you stick with me till the very end of this video, you will find out why I wrote my IELTS 2 times. Yes, 2 times. Pardon me if I look away for some seconds because I have some things jotted down and I don't want to forget anything. So what comes to your mind when you hear IELTS? First, IELTS stands for International English Language Testing System. It is a test that is required of you if you're planning to work or study in a country where their primary language is English. So you have to write this test so that they can evaluate how proficient you are in speaking English. That's it. And there are different types. There is the one for academic and there is the one for general standard, UKVI and the general standard. Whichever one you write, make sure you register for the right one. You don't want to make any mistake. My own experience is what I'll be sharing with you guys today. Tips that will help you, some of the tips that helped me and the mistakes that I made. Like every other exam, this exam has band 0 to 9 and you're required to have a minimum of band 4. Anything less than band 4, it means you didn't pass the exam. And this band 4 has to be across the 4 components. IELTS comprises of listening, writing, reading, and speaking. The first 3, which is listening, writing, and reading, are usually done in one sitting, while the last one, which is speaking, is done on a separate day. The first thing you want to do is be ready for the exam. Be ready. There is no good time for it. There is no good time. There is no bad time for it. Once you are aware of you needing this exam, and the good thing is it lasts for 2 good years, so it's safe for you to write early. And once you're sure that you're writing this exam, you want to take away anything that has to do with fear. Just take away fear. You know, we all have this anxiety of trying things for the first time, and when you're writing an exam, you don't want to fail. You're scared of failure, and that might just set you back. You don't want to write it, and you'll be like, oh, I'm not ready. I don't know what the exam is like. My dear, just try it first. You never can tell. Don't wait for a particular time. Don't study for too long. A month, 2 weeks, 3 weeks is enough for you. Just register. If you register early, then you can get materials from British Council, whatever agency you're registering with. They can send you materials that will help you get prepared. And then you go online, especially YouTube. That's a very resourceful place for you to get materials to study for your IELTS. When I wanted to register, I was like, there is no classroom setting. I'm not going for a lesson. I just had to ask the right question, and I was introduced to trying YouTube. So When I was told to go online and check for materials, things that will help me, I was a bit anxious. Like, would that be enough for me to sit for the exam? Would that prepare me enough? And trust me, it did more than enough for me. And what I did was, I went online, I searched for people that teach about IELTS on YouTube. There are lots of them that do. You just have to find people that you know you can understand their teachings easily. And guys, that's what I did, which helped me. Once you register for your IELTS, practice often. When it comes to listening, we have a lot of examples that you can use, past questions that you can use online. You can answer as many as you wish to. Once you are done with the exam, there is always an answer at the end. That is where you can score yourself and you know how well you are doing. You don't just want to jump into it and say, oh, it's just IELTS, it's for me to listen. No. And then watch movies, English speaking movies that will help you to pay attention more and understand accents. It helps a lot. So what I did was I did a lot of listening. I had a particular book for read. Within a day I do about 4 3, and then another day I do another one. So it helped me. And one of the YouTubers that I really watched his teachings on IELTS, his name is Asad Yakub. He said if you're practicing and you're listening and you score about 20 25, it means during the exam you're likely to score less. You are likely to score less. So what you want to do is practice harder and you begin to score 35 30. So by the time you're writing your exam, even if you're to go lesser than that, you're still safe. So it means you will pass the exam. I'm not saying you're going to fail, but that's the logic and it's really worked. So you try and aim getting 35 within 30 35. So by the time you write your exam, you're still within that range. You don't want to go lesser than that. Another thing is, when you want to register, make sure you register early so you can get a center that is closer to your place, so you don't have issues with accommodation and arriving at your exam center very late. You don't want to do that because it's going to destabilize you, and anything that's going to affect your emotions, that's going to destabilize you, you don't want that to happen before your exam. That's it. As for timing, on the exam day, once you have been checked, your documents checked and everything checked, you will have to be time conscious. You don't want to waste time. Time is of essence. It is during IELTS that I actually knew that 1 hour could be 30 minutes. Sometimes you can be writing IELTS exam and you just look down, just few minutes into you starting the exam, the next thing you hear is 40 minutes left, the next thing 20 minutes left, the next thing 10 minutes left, and you hear submit. Like, how? Where did the time go? So in writing IELTS, you don't want to waste time. When you're asked to write your answers directly into your answer booklet, please do that. Don't go and jot somewhere and say you will copy later. Always follow the instructions, else there will be no time for you to copy, and anything that you did not write in the right place is not considered. So you don't want to make that mistake of you losing marks. Whenever I log in on my YouTube, the next thing I see is about IELTS. I click and open. So I watch some videos from Nigerian IELTs tutors and some from other countries. My number one recommendation would be on listening, which is Asad Yakub. Listening and reading. Asad Yakub really helped me. I'm going to be dropping his page here, somewhere around here. I remember watching one of his teachings and someone was like, how are you getting what this guy is saying, his accent? And I'm like, just focus on what you need and leave his accent. The guy is really good. So if you want to write IELTS, I would advise you also watch some of his teachings. Then as for speaking, oh my god, this is my favorite IELTS tutor. Not just IELTS, general speaking tutor. Keith, English Success with Keith. I'm also going to drop his profile somewhere around here. Um, this man knows how to teach. I mean, he knows how to communicate. He has a good sense of humor that while teaching, you just find his teaching very, very interesting. I discovered him very late, but trust me, he helped me in my IELTS, both the first and the second time I wrote IELTS. For your speaking test, you should go for Keith, English Speaking Success by Keith. Very interesting man. There is another person that I'm going to recommend, although I discovered him very late. That was when I was rewriting my IELTS, and his page is also here, E2 IELTS. I don't know his name in particular. I think they have more than one person taking lessons there. But when it comes to reading and writing especially, he helped me. I remember one of the topic he treated came out during my second IELTS exam, and God, it really helped me as well. So these people are highly recommended. For me, there are other persons that you can learn from. We have different taste, but based on my own experience, I'll recommend these people anytime, any day. And then you can just watch random IELTS speaking to build your vocabulary. One thing you want to build is your vocabulary. Your vocabulary needs to vary. You don't want to keep repeating the same word. That's one of the secrets of writing and passing IELTS. So you need to work on that. And guys, I was just ready for the exam. I'm like, this exam, I'm writing it and I'm going to pass. Anxiety, time conscious, just be ready. Practice. Practice very well. You really need it. Another thing you should have in mind is when writing this exam, ask people with recent experience, not just writing the exam. Let's say you're relocating generally and all the things you need to do, you don't want to make any mistake. So if you're writing IELTS, ask the right questions. British Council, they can attend to you whenever you reach out to them via mail or phone call. So if you're confused about anything, just try and ask the right question so you don't register for the wrong one. What I did was I registered early and I was prepared. I passed the first time with a band of 6.5. As at then, that band was a B2. But when I did the second one, I had an overall of 7.0 band, and I don't know how I ended up having C1. I can't explain that. So you know what, policies are being implemented every now and then, so you don't want to make mistake of writing the wrong one, especially now that the economy is not balanced. You need to ask people the right questions, the one they registered for, so you don't go in and register for the wrong one. One thing about British Council is they are always there to attend to you. If you have any complaint, just go to them. You can go to their office, or you call them, or you send a mail. Sometimes the mail might be slow, but just try and relate or reach out to them. They will definitely attend to you. Some persons who are scared of failing IELTS, I'll tell you something. If you fail IELTS the first time, let's say first, second time, if not for the money aspect, I think you should see it as a blessing. Here's why. If you've written it, that will reduce the tension you get writing the exam, because you already know what the system is like. You already have an idea of what you're going into. It will help you to discover your strength, and then you work more on your weakness. The first exam I did, my speaking test, I had 8.0. What helped me was it was a white lady that interviewed me for my speaking, and the way she was smiling kind of encouraged me as if I was doing something right. And then she kept cutting me short. So one thing I learned is if you're being cut short in your speaking, it means you are doing well. So you don't need anything to bother you about that. Just keep talking. At the end, you might not even finish, and they just tell you, okay, that's the end of your test. So that's what happened to me, and I had band 8. The second one I did, it was a physical one. I think the woman was tired. She had been the one interviewing. They had different people interviewing. I did mine around 4 5 p.m. on the island. And when it got to my turn, this woman was dozing off. And the topic she asked me about was something that I wasn't 100% ready for. It was based on technology and all of that. So I was just trying to find words to just make sure I kept talking. So in between, I had gap. The gap I had in between was because she was dozing off. So she didn't even pay much attention. And that's because she was tired. So it really affected me, and I had a band 7. I don't know if I should say I'll prefer the video call to that physical one. Generally, Igbo people, it's easy to please them, but you see, black, eh? Just joking, guys. So that's what happened to my speaking. One of the things that helped me in doing the exam for the second time was me discovering my weaknesses in the first one. In my reading, especially, I wasted a lot of time in the reading aspect. So what I did was, instead of me learning all over again as if I'm just starting, I just went straight into IELTS channel, and I kept going there to learn about reading and writing. So basically, I was there working on my weaknesses. I already knew that when it comes to speaking, I'm going to try my best. Listening, I'll try my best, and all of that. But these two, reading and writing, I had to make sure I practice even harder, and it really helped me. So that's the reason why I said if you're writing IELTS more than once, you should see it as a blessing, but please try not to write more than twice or 3 times so you don't keep wasting your money. You want to also try and read articles. Articles will help you, because the kind of things they put in reading are topics that will not interest you, topics that you're just like, oh, what is this about? You won't even understand what they are saying, but you have to understand for the purpose of your exam. So you want to vary the kind of articles you read, different topics, sports, whatever topic it is. Just try and read articles more. Watch all these English based movies that their tongue usually twist, so you can listen more with no subtitles. Okay, I don't want this video to be too lengthy, and I don't want it to be as if I am becoming an IELTS teacher. How many my body? So if not, I would have said we'll talk about it in segments, because it's really broad. If you want to talk about listening alone, talk about writing, talk about reading, talk about the speaking parts, we can't do all in one sitting. So if there is any question you would like to ask, please let me know. Whatever experience you've had about IELTS, you can please drop in the comment section so that it will help people. Trust me, I can't give all the tips. You might have your own experience and a different tip. Kindly drop in the comment section so others can learn as well. Thank you. I've got my IELTS results. The first one I did in May, the second one I did September. Here are the band for 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and 0. And each of these has explanations. If you're writing a band 7, it means you're a good user. If it's band 8, it means you're a very good user. And band 9 means you're an expert user of English. Band 9 says, has fully operational command of the language, appropriate, accurate, and fluent with complete understanding. So that's it basically. I did general training for mine. I was supposed to register for UKVI. Funny enough, I saw it on YouTube. I kept asking, am I doing the right one? And I was told I was doing the right one. But fortunately for me, it was the wrong one. Guys, I cried because I had to pay and rewrite the exam. And I thank God that I passed better this time with a 0.5. So my first was band 6.5 and the second one band 7. Another fear I had was, okay, I've done this exam before. That band 6.5 is a no-no for me. Why should I be getting band 6.5? And I went with the mind of having more. Fortunately for me, I got band 7, still manageable. If you know that you don't have the money to pay tutors to prepare you for the exam, please, you don't have to. Go to YouTube. YouTube is a very resourceful place for you to get anything informative, educative. Trust me. At the end, you might just feel like, oh, why did I pay? But if you think that getting a tutor will help you, please, by all means, do. And if you can afford it as well, do. But the thing is, whether you have a tutor or not, it depends on your level of seriousness that will help you. You can have a tutor and still not pass. Just know what works for you. All I did was go online, and then the materials I got from British Council after I registered helped me as well. So you can either register with British Council, IDP, or Cambridge. I don't know. I know people register with IDP, but my both exams were British Council. One thing I like about writing this exam is you're treated with respect. People that are old enough to be your mom are writing IELTs. Younger people are writing IELTs. I don't think there's any age limit to sitting for the exam. So my reason for doing IELTs twice wasn't because I didn't pass. I passed each time. I only registered for the wrong one and I had to register all over again. That's the reason. You see? Okay, thanks for sticking with me, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any idea, kindly drop it in the comment section for me and I'll be glad to go through everything. For those of you that are tapping into this, I pray that your prayers are answered as soon as possible. Till I see you next time, thanks for being here with me. See you in my next video, guys. Bye.